On the news, recent reports reveal terrorist group Lukarawa retreats as troops intensify ground and air attacks. Newly elected Edo State Governor Okpebholo dissolves boards, executives and sacks political appointees. And chieftains storm Akure drum support for Aiyedatiwa ahead of Ondo governorship election. Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I'm Simisola Achikun. Recent reports have revealed that members of the Lukarawa terrorist group have been retreating in the wake of a bombardment from troops of the Nigerian army. The report by Zagazola Makama, a counter-insurgency publication focused on the Lake Chad region, disclosed that the coordinated air and ground attacks targeted Lukarawa camps in Kebbi and Sokoto states, leading to the seizure of livestock, a vital revenue stream for the group. According to the report, the attacks were in collaboration with the air component of Operation Fasan Yama and Operation Farauta Mujia. Makama added that the group is withdrawing towards Borgu, a strategic area near the Nigerian-Benin border due to incessant bombardment from the military. Still on the terrorist group Lukarawa, security experts in the country have expressed confidence in the ability of the troops of the Nigerian army to tackle the new terrorist group. A former director of the Department of State Services who spoke to TV 360 Nigeria says the Nigerian army has the potential to neutralize Lukarawa's operations if provided with the necessary weapons and backing, as the new terror group currently lacks a stable base in northern Nigeria.
I can tell you that the Nigerian security forces will do everything possible within their powers to check the activities of this Lukarawa. They are not beyond. My happiness is that they have not taken a very strong hold like Boko Haram in the northeast. They have not taken a strong hold because, you know, they were initially dislodged in 2018. And coming up now with the new emergence of these groups, I think the government should be able to tackle it, especially now that it's restricted in Sokoto, possibly extension to Kebbi State. Well, now that they are not taking strong foothold in those areas, I think we should rely more on technology, employment of drones, getting adequate intelligence, locating where they are, and possibly using air approach, like the Air Force drones, get them uprooted before, because the information is that they are even recruiting locals now to join them, and this should not be allowed to take place. We should, as a matter of urgency, take decisive action to uproot them and stop the operations within that area.
And now to state matters. Following his swearing-in as governor of Edo, Monday Okpebholo has announced the immediate dissolution of all boards of agencies and parastatals and relieved non-civil service appointees of their positions. The dissolution was contained in a statement by his chief press secretary Fred Itwa, where the governor directed the affected appointees to hand over all government properties in their possession to the most senior public servant. The statement said the dissolution of the executives of all boards, agencies and parastatals is with immediate effect. Okpebholo has also directed that all permanent secretaries appointed from outside the state, public or civil service, as well as all political appointees, be relieved of their appointments. In the meantime, chieftains and governors on the platform of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC have arrived at Akure, the Ondo State capital, ahead of Saturday's governorship election. Lagos State Governor and Chairman All Progressives Congress National Campaign Council for Ondo State governorship election, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, his Ogun State counterpart Dapo Abiodun, and Ekiti State Governor Abiodun Yebanji stormed Akure to solicit support for the APC and its candidate, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. APC candidate and incumbent Governor Governor of Ondo, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, will lock horns with other contestants in his quest to retain his seat. Vice President Kashim Shettima is leading the mega rally to drum up support for Aiyedatiwa. Speaking in Akure, Sanwo-Olu emphasized that the campaign council will employ all constitutionally and professionally acceptable means to ensure victory over other political parties. And the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, has advised that adequate management of recovered assets is still required, and this can be done through effective implementation of the provisions of the Proceeds of Crime Recovery and Management Act of 2022. These and lots more recommendations were contained in CISLAC's research report on Common African Position on Asset Recovery Implementation in Nigeria, which was launched on Tuesday in Abuja. Speaking at the launch, the Executive Director for CISLAC, Awal Rafsanjani, revealed that the renewed campaign, as necessitated by the emergence of the document, aims to strengthen the ongoing efforts in recovering looted funds across Nigeria and overseas.
When we are talking about this asset thing, we are not talking about asset in America, Europe, Britain, Asia. We are talking about asset here in Nigeria. So Nigerians can actually see we all come from the same, different communities. You know that somebody, before he becomes or before she becomes something in government, he has or she has one car. Now, only within 1 year of appointment, you now see that person riding cars that's, as if he is a Dangote, So we need to be watching this, and this also has correlation with asset declaration, because if government officials takes asset declaration serious, citizens can equally also monitor. They know that you just have one house in your state, and then suddenly after you have been elected, whether as a executive governor or as president or vice president or deputy governor or house of rep or senate or given a DG appointment or any whatever appointment, and then you will now begin to buy up even the houses of your neighbors. We have seen how these public officials are doing. They will buy the houses of their neighbors, and then they will come to Abuja, go to Port Harcourt, go to Lagos, buy houses that they cannot even live in.
Implementation remains incomplete. Agencies responsible for asset recovery are mandated to keep records, but citizens lack access to these records. Additionally, none of the agencies involved provide periodic updates on recovered assets. This is limiting transparency and public trust. The lack of public accountability in asset management continues to erode confidence in Nigeria's recovery framework, highlighting an urgent need for regular, accessible reporting.
In health-related matters, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has issued an urgent advisory as the country faces concurrent risks from Lassa fever and cerebrospinal meningitis, two deadly diseases that have surged with the approach of the dry season. The Director General of the NCDC, Jide Idris, who spoke at a press conference on Tuesday in Abuja, called on Nigerians to take proactive measures, emphasizing that both diseases pose significant threats to public health. Idris announced that the death toll from the Lassa fever outbreak in Nigeria has risen to 174 out of 1,035 confirmed cases as of October 13, 2024.
In 2022, Nigeria reported 1,067 confirmed cases across 27 states and 112 local government areas. In 2023, 28 states were involved with 114 local governments for confirmed cases and 9,155 suspected cases. That's 2023. 1,270 confirmed cases from 9,155 suspected cases and 227 deaths. As of October 13th, that's last month of this year, we've seen a total number of 8,569 suspected cases, over 1,000 confirmed cases, and 174 deaths have been reported across 28 states. But Budi again, there's been a steady decrease. That's why we deactivated the EOC. However, we're still seeing cases. What actually kills in Lassa fever is this hemorrhage. When they start losing blood from the ears, from the nose, etc. If they lose this blood again, their kidneys can get shut down, come from shock. And actually what kills in Lassa fever is this kidney failure. And that's why, again, as NCDC, we've purchased and distributed to some key spots dialysis machines. And when cases like that happen, if you dialyze them early enough, you can remove all those things from their body and you can save them.
Alongside Lassa fever, cerebral spinal meningitis poses a significant risk as the dry seasons, dusty winds and crowded living conditions in northern Nigeria exacerbate its spread. The NCDC boss reports that 361 deaths from cerebral spinal meningitis have been recorded between 2023 and 2024, and the figures obtained across 28 state and 129 local government areas in the country were derived from 8,569 suspected cases reported nationwide.
The highest burden of CSM in Nigeria occurs in the meningitis belt, which includes all 19 states in the northern region, the Federal Capital Territory, and some southern states such as Bayelsa, Cross River, Delta, Ekiti State, Ogun State, Ondo, and Osun. In 2023 and 2024, Nigeria recorded about 4,915 suspected cases, with 380 confirmed and 361 deaths across 174 local government areas. A total of 2,281,750 doses. Luckily, meningitis can be prevented if people get their vaccinations at the right time, especially children. But a total of about 2.2 million doses of this new variant of vaccine, have been given in Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, and Yobe, covering 134 wards in 13 local government areas. The campaign targeted individuals aged between 1 and 29 years, comprising 70% of the population. Now, despite significant progress in surveillance, diagnostic capabilities, and vaccination over the last few years, CSM remains a priority disease, an ever-present public health threat in Nigeria.
Outstanding students and teachers of St. Ambrose Catholic Secondary School, Ondo, have been recognized at the just concluded 2024 Deji Badimosi Annual Awards for Academic Excellence. The annual award ceremony is an initiative of Nigerian award-winning journalist Deji Badimosi, an alumnus of the institution and senior prefect of the 1994 set. Beyond giving back to his alma mater, Badimosi says the gesture is born out of his deep passion for education. Our correspondent Amilore Akinkwole has more on this story.
The 6th edition of the annual Deji Badimosi Awards for Academic Excellence kicked off with a mass conducted by Catholic priests, setting the tone for the ceremony. After the mass, the school's cultural troupe took center stage to entertain the guests. Since inception in 2019, the annual Deji Badimosi Award for Academic Excellence has celebrated and presented awards to the best performing students across all classes and the best teachers in both the junior and senior section of the school at the end of each academic session.
Now, some people may wonder why we do this. Well, it is literally driven by the motivation to help give students of this poor school a chance to succeed in life in my own very little way. Most, if not all, of the students here are not from privileged backgrounds at all. But that should not limit their ambition to attain their goals in life and make their dreams come to reality through education. I'm a very strong believer, very strong believer in the saying that education is the last hope of the common man. Now, I know that to be true because I'm a clear example.
For this edition, a total of 9 students emerged winners of the award. Notable among them is this SS3 student and current senior preferred girl of the school, Oladepo Lydia, who emerged the overall best student. She also set a record of winning every edition of the award since 2019. For her achievement, in addition to getting books, a laptop, 2 pairs of uniform and a cash prize, she was also rewarded with a 3 million naira scholarship for her university education.
I'm so excited that I won this award. I didn't expect it because normally we said it. I didn't think it's some other person that is going to win it. So when I got my name, I was so excited. I can't believe it. So what I have to say to this Badmus is that I want to thank you very much for this opportunity I've been given me since JS1. It's really helped me. I used to my brother and my parents because of the school fees and textbook. It's really helped me a lot. So I would like to say a very big thank you to them.
Mr. Badmus, I don't really know how explain how good he is. I only pray that God will continue to shower his blessing upon him as he has made all this effort to make sure there is motivation among the students of St. Ambrose's School.
In the teachers category, 2 teachers emerged winners for their commitment and dedication to their work in both the junior and senior sections. Both were rewarded with brand new laptops, cash prizes of 100,000 naira each.
I feel very happy, and I want to thank Mr. Badmus for all what he has been doing for the school. For the various projects he has been doing in this school, I want to thank him very much. May God Almighty continue to bless him and his family. I don't know how to express myself because this today is one of the best days in my life, in which I am celebrated as a teacher in this profession. And the way the students shouted when I was called to receive the award is a testimony. Academically, I deal with them. Morally, I deal with them. I take them as my own children.
So far, over 50 students and 10 teachers have won the awards, with the winners receiving scholarships, books, uniforms, cash prizes, and laptops.
I believe this is the Lord's doing. It's the Lord that is giving him this mind, this urge to help the young ones. He has been coming here spending money. Single-handedly, he built us, I think, like 3 blocks of 4 rooms, and each block has staff room, toilets with water supply, toilet attendants that we will pay monthly. So this he has been doing. The other time he came around, he promised he will put this block in shape. So the Lord has been helping him. I said that he's a mentor. I said he's a motivator. And it is my prayer that what he has done today will go a long way to transform the lives of these young ones.
With the scholarship trust instituted today, is sure, very sure, as the Lord liveth, that girl will be somebody in life. Because as you don't say, education is still the best hope of the common man. You want to escape poverty, get an education. And that is what the Badmus Award of Excellence aim to achieve. Because we all came from humble backgrounds. And today, education has separated us from others and given us a name in the society.
The Deji Badmus Award for Academic Excellence has reinvigorated learning and hard work among students and teachers of St. Ambrosius, as many now aim to win the award at the end of every academic section. The award is now beginning to instill a new culture of academic excellence and giving each student a hope for a brighter future. Tamilore Akinkwole, TV360, Lagos.
It's time for a short break. Still to come on News Now, multilateral banks pledge $120 billion climate finance to low and middle income countries at COP29 summit. Stay with us for details. Welcome back. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Recent reports have revealed that members of the Lukarawa terrorist group have been retreating in the wake of a bombardment from troops of the Nigerian army. The report by Zagzola Makama, a counter-insurgency publication focused on Lake Chad region, disclosed that the coordinated air and ground attacks targeted Lukarawa camps in Kebbi and Sokoto states, leading to the seizure of livestock, a vital revenue stream for the group. We also told you that Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo has announced the immediate dissolution of all boards of agencies and parastatals and relieved non-civil service appointees of their positions. The dissolution was contained in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Fred Itwa, where the governor directed the affected appointees to hand over all government properties in their possession to the most senior public servants. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's time for business news. Joy Chejim is on standby with the latest. Over to you, Joy.
Thank you, Simi, and welcome to Business News. Now, it's good news for Nigeria as the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has disclosed that the nation's average daily crude oil production rose marginally to 1.33 million barrels per day in October 2024. OPEC disclosed this in its monthly oil market report released on November 12th, adding that the figure was obtained from direct communication with Nigerian officials. According to OPEC, the current output figure represents a 0.68% rise from the 1.32 million barrels per day recorded in September. As a result, the current production figure indicates that Nigeria retained its position as the biggest oil producer in Africa, surpassing Algeria, which produced 909,000 barrels per day in October, according to the Oil Alliance. And still on business, the world's largest meme coin, Dogecoin, has surged over 10% to $0.38 in the early Asian trading hours on Wednesday, after U.S. President-elect Donald Trump announced on Tuesday that Elon Musk and former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy will lead the newly created Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, sharing the same acronym as the crypto coin. Dogecoin increased by as much as 24.6% on Tuesday to nearly $0.44 and by about 10% to over $0.42 on Wednesday. Dogecoin's strong performance reflects optimism surrounding Trump's pro-crypto stance and hope for a more favorable regulatory environment. We'll take a short break and return with stock market reports. Welcome back.
It's the third trading day of the week, and the Nigerian exchange market recovered from Tuesday's losses to close in the bulls. The market increased by 0.22%, with the market cap at 59.04 trillion naira. Now, out of 124 listed equities that participated in trading, 30 were celebrating as gainers, while 20 had a bit of a stumble. Now, the International Energy Insurance stole the spotlight, soaring by 10% to close at 1 naira 32 kobo, and John Holt was fast on his heels. Now, today's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange was buzzing with activity. A whopping 247 million shares changed hands across 8,305 deals, racking up an impressive market value of over 7 billion naira. Now, when compared to Tuesday, November 12th, the market saw a 30% drop in trading volume, with the turnover and deals both slipping by 19%. Now, looking at the global market, it's a mixed bag day as the UK's FTSE and Japan's Nikkei fell into bear territory, feeling the pinch, while the US Dow Jones had a brighter day, closing in the bulls and increasing by 0.22%. Now, in the foreign exchange markets, the naira remained under pressure against a major parallel market. On the parallel markets, the US dollar traded at 1,745 naira, the British pound at 2,270 naira, and the euro at 1,860 naira. Now, that's the latest from the business and stock markets. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Joy. And on the foreign scene, the United Nations has said continued weapons supplies to Sudan's warring military and paramilitary forces are enabling the killings and must stop, with civilians bearing the brunt of the conflict. According to the UN Under-Secretary General for Political and Peacebuilding Affairs, both the Sudanese Armed Forces and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces are escalating their military operations and recruiting new fighters, fueled by considerable external support and a steady flow of arms. DiCarlo said the council DiCarlo told the council that non-governmental organizations say those attacks have been marked by some of the most extreme violence in the last 18 months. And the world's top multilateral development banks have pledged to increase climate finance to low and middle income countries to $120 billion a year by 2030 as part of efforts at global talks in Azerbaijan to agree on an ambitious annual target, reaffirming a goal of capping global warming at 1.5 centigrade above the pre-industrial average by 2050. The lenders say the new figure would include $42 billion to help adapt to the effect of extreme weather. The group warned that their ability to do more largely depends on the commitment of shareholders from both developed and developing countries. Finally, on sports, head coach of the Benin Republic men's football team, Gernot Rohr, has said his squad have the quality to cope with the absence of injured players in their upcoming 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying matches. Rohr will be without the quartet of Cedric Hutonji, Olivier Vendon, Matteo Al-Alimvi and David Kiki for the crucial games. Despite their absence, Rohr is upbeat that his team will cope with the absence of the key players. The Cheetahs will host the Super Eagles in a West African derby at the Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium, Abidjan, on Thursday. Benin Republic last qualifying game against Libya will hold 4 days later. And Portuguese club Boa Vista has expressed its economic distress, stating that it is on the verge of judicial liquidation. In a statement on Tuesday, Boa Vista announced the economic situation in which it believes it finds itself. Back in August, Boa Vista's management had received 2 more insolvency requests from former players related to unpaid agreements dating back to 2021. Well, that's it on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Simisola Adigun. We'll see you again next time.